Yo, what up everybody? So I gotta say this, man. So in the last few days, you guys should have been seeing a few videos that have been talking about stuff that has been taking place in the Boruto manga chapter right now. So obviously you should have seen the Boruto chapter review. You should have seen the video about whether or not Boruto should learn the Flying Thunder God. This is gonna be a continuance of the information that we got in the Boruto manga chapter. So with that being said, if you're an anime only viewer, I highly recommend that you guys click off of the video right now if you want to read the manga and get caught up. I have a link down in the comment section below where you guys can actually read the Boruto manga and actually support the channel at the same time. So you guys can do that if you want to, no pressure on you. But with that being said, if you're still here, I'm gonna assume you're okay with any type of spoilers. So in the latest Boruto chapter, there's a panel that really stuck out to me. If you guys have seen the chapter review, you guys are completely aware of what I'm referring to, which is I found it very interesting that Boruto was being given the card that has the fourth Hokage's picture, jutsu, name, everything that's on those ninja cards. And the reason why I find that interesting is Boruto refers to it as, it's like, hey, I'm always getting my dad's card, just in the same way that Boruto's always been trying to get out of the shadow of his father. Now he finally gets a card of one other Hokage, and it ends up being his grandfather. And this is what I find interesting. In this chapter, you have Shikadai, who corrects Kawaki and says, hey, don't refer to the fourth Hokage as this guy. That's Boruto's grandfather. So the reason why that's so interesting is it really feels as if one of the things that's being set up is when you look at Boruto, he spent so much time trying to break out of the shadow of his father, and he's gonna have a card about his grandfather. It's gonna have his jutsu. This is a chapter that is talking about training, and when you look at how Kodachi writes, little small moments like this are typically used as ways to set up stuff that happens in the future. Little small stuff. It's very similar to what Eiichiro Oda does, where Oda teases things with little small moments that you will look past, and all of a sudden 400 chapters later he pays it off. And so this is something I want to kind of tell you guys to keep an eye on, which is not only do I think that Boruto might potentially learn the Flying Thunder God, but I think that one thing that might be going even a step further is Boruto's going to learn some of that famous Uzumaki sealing jutsu that Kushina taught Minato. This was something that was confirmed in the Naruto manga around chapter 500, where Kushina is telling Naruto the story of her and Minato, and she says like, yeah, I taught your father a lot of our sealing jutsu. And the thing about the Uzumaki sealing jutsu is that there were entire nations that ganged up on them in order to wipe out their clan and wipe out their village, where you basically have Uzumaki who are kind of floating around, but their sealing jutsu was that overpowered. In fact, their jutsu was so overpowered that the first Hokage thought it'd be a really good idea to marry Mito to bring the Uzumaki and the Senju clan together because of how overpowered they were. Because he's like, hey, I can't afford to have these guys as villains. Let's put this in perspective for a second. This is Hashirama Senju, someone who's absolutely overpowered, who is powerful enough to keep several, not just one, several of the tailed beasts like they were pets. He had, if I'm not mistaken, he had 7 of the tailed beasts under his control. Like, Hashirama was freaking powerful. And yet he thought he needed to make allies out of the Uzumaki clan. So it really opens up the door, because we know that right now Jigen's being billed as someone who's more powerful than Naruto, and according to Kashin Koji, it's not even close. According to the anime, we know that Naruto and Konoha are preparing for a pending Atsuki threat. They don't know when it's happening, but they know it's going to happen sooner or later, and they're preparing for it. This could be a really great way for Boruto to continue on that path to being able to fight alongside his father, because I mean, the kid has the Jogan, he has the Karma Seal, and if he starts learning Flying Thunder God and these Uzumaki sealing jutsu, more than likely they're gonna have to seal away whoever this Atsuki clan leader is. Boruto might be the one who's able to come up with the sealing jutsu that does that, because Uzumaki have some really overpowered seals. And it remains to be seen whether or not the Karma Seal is something that the Uzumaki were aware of. But given the fact that, and this was another reason why I think this is possible, given the fact that Kashin Koji says the only way that we're going to be able to defeat Jigen, or that Naruto and the others are going to be able to defeat Jigen, is if they get the full understanding of the karma seal. That's interesting. What if the Uzumaki had information on this? What if the whole reason why the Uzumaki sealing jutsu is so overpowered is because they studied Asusuki? Because we do know this much. We do know this much. Because of how informed Kara is, and because of what we've seen in the Naruto Shippuden filler episodes, which I hate saying this because I hate referencing filler, but I did some research on this and I really hate saying this. That filler arc with Kaguya, the anime director for Naruto Shippuden at that time, flat out said that Kishimoto gave them some information in order to help write that arc, that filler arc with Kaguya. So for a period in time, you did have an Asusuki on Earth, which means that there could be information that's floating out there. And if that's the case, the Uzumaki could have gotten some information that could have been the basis for the sealing jutsu, for all the stuff the Uzumaki know. And it'd be a great way to have Boruto learn about his clan's history, have Boruto learn about the karma seal, and potentially master it. Because Jigen is working off some information. Unless Jigen himself is the child of an Asusuki, which at this point we can't rule anything out. But unless Jigen is the child of an Asusuki, there's no other way to explain his connection. There's no other way right now to explain that. I mean, this is nuts. This is nuts. But I think that when you look at Boruto potentially learning the sealing jutsu of the Uzumaki clan and having it tie in with the karma seal, it's something that we need. It's something that we need. I mean, this is gonna be interesting going forward. But I wanna know from you guys, how do you all feel about Boruto potentially learning Uzumaki's sealing jutsu and having it tie into his karma seal? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share, and thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.